Hello again, welcome back to Nailing Your Thesis. I would now like to talk about course projects, how to perform the 10 ECTS version of the course in which you do a small research project. Now, a research project means it will be with you and us for the whole semester, a single project. And we have staged the work you will be doing into these separate phases or stages. They all build on each other. After you decided for your project, the particular question you want to take on, you will first have to deliver a paper outline. Then you will have to do a literature search, literature review, so you understand how your work fits into the scientific context. Then you will actually be working on the so-called contributions, a term for the actual research results you hope to get. You will do this in several stages, so first, second stage, and then the research paper draft. And even for the final research paper, you may be going over your contributions and refining your analysis of whatever you're analyzing again. But as the sixth step on the sixth phase, after several weeks to the end of the semester, lecture time, you will submit your paper, and then the final week of lecture time, you will actually present the results in a 10-minute presentation in class. What looks like a linear process is in reality more of a cycle or circle of increasingly extending your understanding, but you only do this by going back to the beginnings and revising and reviewing, so it's by no means a linear process as suggested perhaps by the 7 bullet items. Yes, project planning. So my PhD students are fans of PhD comics, a cartoon about, well, being a PhD student, but also quite often about being a researcher. So here you see a rather naive approach to project planning. I think the lesson is, don't sit on it. Get at it right away. Understand that as you postpone or procrastinate, it won't get better. And for that reason, we require bi-weekly deliverables. And we grade them. So if you don't deliver something after 2 weeks, then you're missing out on parts of your grade. So make sure that you stick to the rhythm of continued incremental work towards the final paper. Well, the final format of your research work is that research paper. Of course, we will show you how a research paper should look like. And it's a summary of all the research work you did. You need to know that you cannot go there right away. Not only do you first have to do the work, but as I just said, you might have to go back to early assumptions and revise them and incrementally building your work. So we will lead you along this way. We will provide you with feedback on most iterations, and the course itself supplements and enhances that by bringing you the relevant methods and how to write up things in due time, aligned with the schedule of delivering the project. We want you to use a particular format, so you will find the link here. It exists as a document, a doc format for Microsoft Word or for OpenOffice/LibreOffice, or you can even use LaTeX if you are so inclined. Please find the template you should use at this link and then stick to it. You might be tempted, since we will actively guide you and since we provide the research question, or at least the project idea initially, to put us down as your co-authors. Don't do that. We are well aware that we are actively coaching you and working with you. You should be, for your work as part of this course. You should be the only author on that research paper, that small research paper that you're writing. This is not going to be a publication right away. If it was that good, then certainly your supervisors and would want to be co-authors, as they probably made a non-trivial contribution. What that is, we will discuss later as well. The projects for the semester can be found here, and we will be discussing them right after this slide deck. The projects we provide are typically from our own research projects. If it wasn't so, our interests would perhaps be limited, unless it's some outside company which provides us with really interesting research data, in case of which we would allow for companies to provide such project ideas and the corresponding data. And if that is so, then we have an outside participant who typically only provides the data because they want to get something out of it. So they hope that you will find some interesting insights, for example, from the data and provide it to them. So under such circumstances, we will ask you to sign a contributor agreement in which you give us, give the professorship, give me a so-called relicensing right, which means I can tell the company which provided the data and idea, I can tell them that they can use the results of your work. It will still be your work and your results, and you own the rights to it. But by way of this contributor agreement, you actually allow the company to use the results of your work without having to pay you. I view this as fair. They provide good data for research insight that often might not be easy to come by. Hence, they do want to get something out of it, and that would usually be to be allowed to use the results of your work for free. So then, if you're really into research, and of course we hope to ignite that spark for world-class research in you, if you are really into research, you can use nailing your thesis as the on-ramp for a final thesis with us. Meaning you do the nailing your thesis work and then you build on it for your final thesis. If so, if you have that perspective, come and talk to us so that we can arrange for it. Nevertheless, from a degree program perspective, these must be separate exams, but we can usually make it work such that they feed into each other. And of course, the benefit of that is that your final thesis will be much better because it covers broader ground, some of which you already covered in nailing your thesis. By combining nailing the thesis with a master thesis, you are able to go much further than if you started from scratch with your master thesis. It's not required. It's just an offer, and if you would like to take it, please. If you would like to take the offer, please come and talk to us. That's it for this slide deck. After this, we will take a break to discuss projects with you. You'll get an overview of what's available this semester. And after that, I will launch into the course motivation and research examples so that you can get a better idea of the joy of performing research. See you in a bit.